Okay, welcome back dear friends. I am Dr. Klim Raza. Today in this video lecture we are going to discuss two very important topics, and one is the cerebral hypoxia and other is the Cushing reflex. Cerebral hypoxia, it's mean I am talking about deficiency of the oxygen or decreased perfusion to the brain. Very important, very sensitive. So whenever the perfusion to the brain is decreased, when the blood supply to brain tissue is decreased, it lead to basically increase partial pressure of carbon dioxide in brain. So this is dangerous, that when increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide, so what is the compensatory mechanism? How you will basically restore the blood supply in your brain, restore the pressure of the arteries inside the brain, restore the pressure of the circle of Willis. What is the mechanism? Meanwhile, in this phase, the chemoreceptors, because chemoreceptor will sense the chemicals, now you have more carbon dioxide, chemoreceptors basically in medulla, vasomotor center in the medulla, they will activate. So chemoreceptors will sense carbon dioxide level and then send information to increase sympathetic nervous system. So if sympathetic nervous system is increased, automatically heart rate is increased, the blood flow is increased, and then to the sympathetic nervous system, total peripheral resistance is increased, and it ultimately lead to mean arterial pressure also. And second thing, that when vasoconstriction is increased, it means perfusion to the other organs of the body is reduced in order to reserve the blood for the brain. So remember, this is the compensatory mechanism. In case of the cerebral hypoxia, when perfusion is decreased, automatically there is increase in level of the carbon dioxide, and then chemoreceptors in your medulla basically send the information to increase the heart rate through the sympathetic channels, and then also increase the vasoconstriction. So blood to the peripheral organs, to the other organs of the body, blood is reduced to preserve the blood circulation for the brain. But what is basically the Cushing reflex? You will have at least question from Cushing reflex. So you have to understand the basic difference. What is the Cushing reflex? That Cushing reflex is basically a reflex in case of the, so write please, that in Cushing reflex, basically what happens in case of the increase intracranial pressure, when your intracranial pressure is increased, it leads to compression of cerebral blood vessels. So it means that you are going to compress the blood vessel in your brain, and ultimately it will decrease the blood perfusion, and if you will decrease the blood perfusion, it's going to increase partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and if you will increase the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, it will again activate the chemoreceptor, and it will again stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. If you will activate the sympathetic nervous system, automatically it will increase the heart rate, total peripheral resistance, and then vasoconstriction. So this vasoconstriction is so severe that it lead to increase mean arterial pressure. So this significant rise in arterial pressure is called as basically Cushing reflex, and it all starts basically in case of the increase intracranial pressure. I hope you understood. You will make the notes, and then in addition you will watch the lecture on renin-angiotensin aldosterone system also, and then the neural baroreceptor mechanism also. Thank you.